Hello again, everyone. Ambassador Terry with my partner and business partner, wife, love of my life, and a lot of other titles, Linda Vetras Nichols, and our wonderful guest, Diana Fritz. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you. Great to be with you both.
We are very happy that we could get you. You're a busy person, which, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find out about here in a moment. Today, we're talking about the things that come up in life, and how what do we do with them? Okay, there's a lot of variables, and Diana's story is impactful. It is present. It's relative, and here she is, and I am so happy she is, ladies and gentlemen. So, Diane, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, happy to. So, I am a mom of two wonderful teen boys that have watched me navigate through a 12-year cancer journey, which eventually led to a shift from Diana, we're fighting to save your eye to we're fighting to save your life. So, there's some powerful lessons along that journey. But at the time prior to when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was an executive leader and balancing a lot of things with a mom and executive leader and single mom. So finding out I had a rare form of cancer was certainly, it's never on anybody's list, but to get diagnosed with cancer. But certainly I was, juggling a lot at the time. So adding that to the mix wasn't never as a first picked, but it certainly helped me to continue to develop and grow around my leadership skills and strengths and around my passion. And I like to look at it as it just opened up more doors for people, for me to get to interact with and talk with, and to impact. So I have met people along this 12-year journey that I never would have met otherwise. So, um, and I think that the challenge reminder when I look in the mirror, right, am I making the most of my opportunity? And my unique look does give me some unique opportunities, I must admit.
Terrific, terrific. And you're doing this by being a mom of two young kids at the time,
Yeah.
right? And what's work look like? What does the future of work look like? What does the future of Diana Fritz look like? All of that's in doubt. You
Yeah.
know, cancer, ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, that's serious stuff. Yeah, you can survive it, but a lot don't. And you know, the your story about your surgeries is just incredible, Diane. If you could expand on that, um, talk about a journey of vigilance and determination and your vision. Please do.
Yeah. No, excuse me, sorry. When I was first diagnosed 12 years ago, the cancer was a rare form of cancer, and it is still pretty rare today. And the way to treat was by surgery, working to cut out the tumors. And my first surgery, we found out it was not only just in my corner of my left eye, but up in my eyebrow and down along the side of my nose. So I had about 4 months with my eye closed while all that area was healing, which, my kids were like, 2 and 4. So can imagine that fun trying to juggle that with one eye. You learn quickly how we can all navigate with one eye. And then I had multiple surgeries that year, and then I went about 5 years cancer free. So that was a blessing. And then the cancer popped back up again in 2019 and 2021, which led to additional surgeries. There still isn't really a lot of proven treatments around chemotherapy that would fight this type of cancer. So surgery continued to be the option. I got the difficult call in late 2022 that the 2021 surgery, although it helped with the immediate, it didn't prevent the cancer from coming back. And so it had started to grow behind my eye and was resting on the lining of my brain. And so you take a breath when you hear that, Diana, we have to shift from saving your eye to saving your life. And that preparation for surgery was interesting on its own. We did two intra-arterial chemo treatments, which means you get put under and they insert something in your artery, and they took a balloon all the way up to here, followed by a chemotherapy, and they inflated the balloon and then targeted the chemo right towards the tumor with the attempt to shrink it to make it easier for surgery. I can't say that it really worked. I think it probably made it more difficult, but certainly that was one of the first times that the visualness of the cancer started to take over the left eye. Prior to that, people probably didn't even really know that I had cancer. The surgery to remove my eye was a 12-hour procedure. I knew it was going to be intense when they let me know I was going to have 4 surgeons operating on me. And we were starting with the neurosurgeon going in through my skull, and then the eye surgeon and the ENT, and then a plastic surgeon to finish everything up. So I can remember waking up from that surgery and I was freezing cold. And so at first I just wanted to get warm. And then it hit me. I'm like, I made it. Like, I'm alive, God, I'm alive. So that recovery was a little bit, more intense than any recovery I had had, because I had to lay still for a 24 to 48 hour period because of all the work done near my brain. And so that was an exercise of patience, because I like to just get back up and keep going. So I needed to learn to do slowly and follow the rules so that I would heal well. So I haven't had a surgery like going under and getting cut open since then, but I've had 3 Gamma knife procedures since that point in time, which that is tied to, we monitor every 3 months. I do MRIs just to make sure that no area has popped back up within my head or anywhere else. And 3 times after my MRIs, I've had some things pop up within my head. And so thankfully, they were able to do a Gamma knife procedure, which is just a targeted form of radiation that I guess kind of zaps the areas of concern. But it's so much easier than recovering from a 12-hour surgery. So I'm incredibly thankful for those type of inventions to help me keep going. And the recovery is much quicker on a Gamma knife procedure than a 12-hour neurosurgery procedure.
Oh, been through so much, and then doing that with raising children. So yeah, and now you're a mom of teens.
Yes,
you can have a book. So what's your book all about? And I love how you go out and speak to groups of people and groups of children too. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I'm currently, a part of my time is spent at a local Christian school, and we have preschool, elementary, and secondary chapels each week. So I get to spend some time in those sessions. I actually was just with preschoolers today. So they're kind of fun, even though they see me every week. They're all still going, but you only have one eye. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm glad to see you, though.
Thank you, Diana. I love that. They're helpful.
They're really cute. I love their curiosity. The book title is Uniquely Imperfect, Uniquely Qualified. And I had, when I was first diagnosed with cancer that year, I had written in my journal, someday I want to write a book. Nice. And I guess I needed to wait till I had my unique look to write the book, because that's gave me my title. But it's around lessons from my cancer journey, and it starts with calling out some impactful people and lessons from my youth, like before I had cancer, that helped to shape my mindset and my resilience and my faith, which has been key in my response, right, to the journey. And each chapter closes with a personal reflection and then some application questions for the reader. So I just got to attend a book club last Thursday night. So they had picked my book to read, and I got to attend as the author. And that was fun, just to hear their perspective on, okay, Diana, some chapters, I liked the questions at the end. Other chapters, those were really hard to answer. And I was
like, cool. Good job.
Yeah.
It was fun.
There's 2 sides to this story that are quite wonderful, in that your children at a very early, pure age saw this change.
Yes.
And what it meant, and it became Mom. it didn't, there wasn't their concern to get to school and what mom looks like now as opposed to what mom used to look like and all those kinds of things because you've neutralized their need to know and their inquisitiveness to that's mom and that's her journey and they've been there with you. So
Yes.
and they started the journey at that, well, you're special ed, you know, that
Teacher.
where life is just happening and they're observers, you know, they get to play and have fun, but they're observers too, you know, and that's special.
Yeah.
And I got a question for you. Do you ever sleep?
Well, I do sleep. I do.
That's
Yeah, really, because every time I talk to you, you're going choo, 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 choo.
Yeah,
Not all
yeah. No,
fun.
my husband would agree with challenging me on where I spend my time, but I do sleep. Yes.
I do sleep.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Now, this form of cancer, what is the name of it? What's the tag?
Sebaceous carcinoma.
Okay.
It's a cancer of like oily glands. So the caruncle, like which is the corner of your eye, like is one of the oily glands in your body. I can remember early on when I was first diagnosed, I feared that it was in my brain. And so that was, you know, one of my first meetings with Dr. David C., who's my doctor at Bascom Palmer. He was like, you know, tell me what happened. I'm like, okay, but is it in my brain? And he showed me in the hallway, which the irony of eventually, like that's, you know, where it's been headed. But the thing with that type of cancer, I remember him also telling me, Diana, it's kind of like if you're holding like a jar of marbles and you drop them, you don't know where it's going to go. And that has always, you know, stuck in my head in terms of, okay, I've got this. And for years, it stayed like just like right here in this area. But as my gamma knife procedures, my last one, I think the last one I had done, it had traveled to kind of behind and it was near my right inner ear canal. So it had moved from the left side and was, you know, shifting some. So just go back to that jar of marbles, right? And I think for me, I have no desire to live in fear, but I do have every desire to fight for what I can fight for. And so that's why I do get sleep, because that's what my body needs. But I also focus on my physical health and my strength and like working out and what I eat, because those are things that I can do. I can't necessarily determine whether or not I get cancer, but I can certainly make sure that I'm well in the other aspects of my life and of what I can control.
Right. Controlling what you can control. That is such a life skill that we all kind of come to the realization one way or another, like this is the way through.
Right on. Right on. Now I wanted to bring up, you've got an event coming up, an in-person event. So maybe you can talk to us about that.
Yeah, so that is a week from today, actually. And it is an event that is available to me to host because I'm a John Maxwell leadership consultant. And so I'm able to buy a license to the content for Live to Lead. And Live to Lead has been around for 13 years. And there's a live event that happens in Orlando. And then John Maxwell coaches are able to take the same content from that live event and make it available locally via video, but it's a lot more personal and a collaborative environment. You didn't drive through traffic and fight through crowds to get your seat in the midst of 5,000. Instead, you get to be with like 100 people and you watch the same content, and then we can have group roundtable discussions. And also, I work to incorporate local leaders into the mix for them to be on a local leadership panel. And this year, I've had the inspiration, I guess you would call it, to incorporate some of our next generation leaders into a panel as well. So I have a few high school juniors and seniors and some college students that will also speak on the panel side. And I'm excited about that. Hopefully they are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of your situation, I also think of the concept, and it's a movement, and there's all kinds of things going on. Born different, and it's not like you were born different. It's like something happened. This life, if you will.
Yeah.
Not at the beginning. So yeah, have you ever considered connecting with that movement or that group? Or
I haven't, but I will have to write that one down.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, aside from her being really cool on here on this live today, she is my guest tomorrow on What Are You Doing?
Yeah.
And that is a completely separate recording. Let me tell you, she's got stuff going on there that we haven't talked about today on purpose because I want to plug my program.
Right.
And Diane, you have just been such a delight. As somebody like myself who's quite intuitive, I reached out to you originally because of the impactful comment you made on a mutual connections post on LinkedIn, and just that little bit of connection between the two of us in the few minutes we spent before we recorded your What Are You Doing? The authenticity of you and your uniqueness just shined through. And I told you then, I said, we got to do it live. This is so relevant in the book of life.
Yes.
What do you do when these kinds of things happen? Well, you put the next foot forward and you just keep going, and
you slow down, dude.
Yeah. Well, we
slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times you clean the glass lens off and you see the world a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, the message that we can give to other people, like you've done today, is huge. And I thank you so much for being on here today. Any thoughts?
No, what I noticed is the camera, I think, is flipped for the restream versus the camera for the Zoom recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it was your left eye, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it flipped here because it looks like her right eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the magic of lives, right? Like,
yes.
You can do a recording and you can upload it as a live. And one of our friends was live at the same time on 3 different lives.
Yeah.
So
just never believe AI.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I love it. Occasionally, I pre-record a live now and then because the time of day isn't the best for one of my guests, and that's happened. They end up on another program at the same time, and they're in 2 locations on the same live on the same. I love it, and I harass them for it. I says, "Hey, what'd you do?"
We're all learning to be more discerning these days.
Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for tuning in, and feel free to repost this to your friends who you think may be able to receive this message that we have talked about today. And thanks again, Diana. This was just wonderful.
Congratulations on your book. That's so cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you both.
You bet. Bye for now.